Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. How are we all doing on this Friday morning? This is Reganelite here. Hello, guys. How are you all doing? I hope you're all doing well. What the hell? Yeah, why is it saying that? That's a bit weird. Twitch chat's playing up there. There we go. Got it back on. There we go. Welcome to Good Morning with Reganelite here on Friday, the 6th of February, 2026. Just gone over 11 o'clock in the morning, UK time here for reference. We are dual streaming live on youtube.com/Reganelite and on twitch.tv/Reganelite1. If you're on either platforms, feel free to say hello, or you can just lurk, whichever you prefer, but we always appreciate it here. For those who are new to this live stream, what I normally do here, so I go roughly for about an hour, stop around about 12 o'clock. We always stop at around 12 o'clock, so we don't go more than an hour. So what I do is at the start of the show, I give you guys a daily quote. The daily quote I have up here, which I'll share with you in a moment. We have a look at the weather and see what's happening in weather. And then what we do is we go to various news web pages and see what the headlines and stories that they have for us. We're going to do a combination of UK and some world news, so such as The Guardian, the Associated Press, Al Jazeera, Kiev Independent, BBC, NBC News. So a variety of different ones, and see what topics, see what news and headlines that they have there. Because we might find a headline that perhaps you haven't heard of from a different outlet there. So we look at that together here. So let's see who we've got here in the chat. Matti von Eric, good morning to you. And also on, again, good morning on Twitch there as well. Thank you very much for that. I hope you are doing well there. Gillian, good morning to you. I hope I said your name right. If I didn't, I apologize. Good morning to you. I hope you are doing well there. Mel, good morning to you. I hope you're doing well. Good morning, ducks and bananas. I still haven't done the poll thing. It's on my jobs list, guys. I just haven't had. It's on my jobs list, guys. So don't worry about that. It will be done at some point, guys. Ange, good morning to you. Hope you are doing well. Peter, good morning to you. Mandy, good morning to you. Hope you are doing well. Scott Hayes there as well. Good morning to you. Viper Scott, thank you so much for the £2 super chat. All hail DPR, all hail Ollie, and hail Duck. Thank you so much for that super chat, Viper Scott. Hope you are doing well. Much appreciated there. It was very kind of you. No excuses not to call me Mandy. I've got my identity back. Lol. Billy Kershaw, good morning, fellow Badger. Hope you are doing well there as well. Let me just check. I definitely haven't missed anyone. Weebad, I see you there. Good morning to you. Hope you are doing well. And thank you again, Viper Scott, for another £2 super chat just because you dropped a super chat on 2 Davies. Yeah, I just kind of just wanted to get my feelings there. And what's this? We've just been raided by Graham Hughes and Politics Social. Good morning to everyone from the Morning Brew. From Graham Hughes' channel, guys. Politics Social, guys, do check out Politics Social YouTube channel, and Graham Hughes does some wonderful stuff on there. Good morning to you and everybody there. Hope you guys are all doing well. Lovely to see you there. I really must do a live stream with Graham Hughes sometime. That's something we really need to set up at some point, guys. How have we not? We've only ever had one live stream, and that was me, him, and Bowler Hatman for a Geoscopes. I don't even think it was last year. I think it was the year before. Like, that's how long ago it is. We need to do one again. I should try and get him on a round table, guys. That's what I should do, guys. To get him on one of the round tables. That's what I need to do, guys. That's what I need to do. Yes, for sure. Right, let's get started, guys. So let's start with today's daily quote, and then we'll get to the weather, which is as well. Dizzy, good morning to you. Hope you are doing well there. So here is today's daily quote here, guys. There it is. I did say it was an unknown one yesterday, didn't I? So there it is there for today's 6th of February. Here it is. You're so hard on yourself. Take a moment, sit back, marvel at your life. At the grief that softens you, at the heartache that widens you, at the suffering that strengthens you. Despite everything, you still grow. Be proud of this. That's a really nice one. One more time, guys. One more time. You're so hard on yourself. Take a moment, sit back, marvel at your life. At the grief that softened you, at the heartache that widened you, at the suffering that strengthened you, and despite everything, you still grow. Be proud of this. It's a really nice one, isn't it? It's a really nice one. Let's do Saturdays and Sundays because I'm not going to be here for reference as well, guys. Let's do Saturdays and Sundays so we make sure we get them done as well because I don't have a live streams over the weekend, guys. So here is Saturday's one for you guys here by Lona Jackson Wilson there. I'm just going to show you guys that's tomorrow's one, just for reference there. Overcoming obstacles requires commitment and strength. Despite all odds, face each journey with courage. Each struggle with accomplishment, and each challenge with victory. Overcoming obstacles requires commitment and strength. Despite all odds, face each journey with courage, each struggle with accomplishment, and each challenge with victory. That's a nice one there. That's a nice one for Saturday. And our last one for Sunday, because again, no live stream on Sundays, as you guys know. Here is Sunday's one. From Jimmy Johnson. From Jimmy Johnson there, a very small one there. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary is that little extra. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary is that little extra. That is your daily quotes for today, tomorrow, and Sunday, guys. And we will come back again on Monday for Monday's quote. So I hope you found those quotes very nice. Indeed. What am I doing here? Right. Let's go to the weather forecast and see what the weather is today here, guys. Here is the weather at the moment. For those who are wondering what I'm using here, this is the bbc.co.uk/weather map. I've set it to today at 6 p.m. for reference here there. Ellie, good morning to you. Hope you are doing well. Of our big, beautiful planet here. Plenty of snowstorms, plenty of rainstorms, as per usual here. Going to zoom in a little bit here and see some of the other weather patterns that we have. We're going to start with North America as we normally do here. Yellowknife 23, Churchill 27, minus, cold. Anchorage there in Alaska -5, Vancouver 10, Winnipeg -18, Ottawa -9, Chicago 1, New York 0, Nashville at 12, New Orleans at 17, Miami 16, Denver 13, San Francisco 15, and San Diego at 18 degrees. Mexico City, Guadalajara City 17 and 19 respectfully there. Kingston at 27, very nice warm temperatures for them there. San Jose at 22 degrees, and parts of South America here we have some temperatures as high as 28 degrees. Actually, as high as 38 degrees actually. Correct, excuse me there. 38 degrees in some parts, and some temperatures as low as 16 here, with plenty of rainstorms in the tropical continent, as you would expect. Moving over to the Africa here. Parts of the temperatures we have here. We've got Lagos at 29, Kingishka 28 there, Dhaka at 20 there, Cape Town at 22 there, with not much rain forecast on the continent there today. Khartoum 28, Port Sudan 25. Thoughts and prayers as always for the conflict that's taking place there as always. Crossing over to the other side. Here in New Zealand, Auckland and Wellington 19 and 17 respectfully there. Australia, another place I would love to go to. Brisbane 21, Alice Springs at 24, Darwin a nice 27 with some rain and showers as you can see. Perfect 21 there at Melbourne at 14. I'll come to your super chat in a moment, Peter, bear with me. Obviously, Singapore there, 25. Port Moresby, 24 there. So some nice and decent temperatures there, but some miserable weather to go with it there. Bangkok at 27 there. Shanghai 2. Beijing, a very cold -9. Tokyo, 4 degrees there. And you can see, again, those snowstorms around Japan, on the island of Japan and around it, as per usual there. Across a bit further over, we've got New Delhi at 13. Dhaka, 18. Riyadh at 20, Tehran 7, Baghdad 17 degrees with some rain showers they've got there as well. And we got Cairo in Egypt there at 22 degrees. Before we hit Europe, let's just have a look at our friends over in Iceland. 4 degrees they've got there today is what they've got. Yeah, maybe some snowstorms possibly, but looks like most of that is not too bad. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. We'll come to the rest of Europe in just a moment. But first, thank you, Peter, for the £5 super chat. Very kind of you. Would some power the gift to give us to see ourselves as others see us? Ah, thank you so much for that. That's a very lovely quote there from Peter. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you for the super chat. And thank you for sharing that. That's very, very nice. Thank you. Harry, good morning to you as well. David King, good morning to you. And if there's anybody else, Saz, I think I said good morning to you. If I didn't, hope you're doing well. And anybody else looking in the chats there. So I don't have anyone in the Twitch chat at the moment. Let's just quickly run through Europe before we get to UK. I don't want to spend too much on the weather because there's a lot to cover. I'm also going to share a clip with you guys from my wrestling show, which is related to politics as well, which you guys are going to like as well. Madrid 7, Lisbon 11 there, Spain and Portugal with some showers and snow in forecasting parts there. Tripoli there at 21 on the North African continent. Algiers at 15 there. Tunis 16. Parmelo 13. Rome 12. Nice 13. South of France there. Looks like they got a bit of a dry spell in the south of France as opposed to yesterday, where they were literally, covered in showers and snow. Tyria 13 there. Athens 16. Parts of Turkey experiencing fair share of rain and snow depending on where you are there, if you happen to be living from there. Istanbul, the capital, at 12 degrees there. Eastern Europe there, facing still its fair share of cold temperatures as you expect. Zagreb 8, Vienna 5, Prague 3, Berlin 1, Warsaw 0 degrees, Kiev still struggling with a -6 degrees there. Thoughts and prayers, of course, to our Ukraine friends and allies there. Chistu at -3 and Bucharest at 4 there. Bit further along east into Russia there. Volgograd -13, Moscow -11, St. Petersburg -13 there, respectively. Oslo with a fair share of snowstorm there at -6 degrees. And finally, Brussels at 9, Paris at 10 degrees. And if we come here to the UK, this is what, if I scroll it a bit further back, this is what is forecast within the next less than an hour here. So some of you guys may be feeling the wet weather right now. Some of you might not be feeling the weather right now. It depends where you are here. But we can see those temperatures there. Not too bad if you're in London or in Wales. There, Cardiff, they're 9 at 10 degrees. But depending if you're further up in Scotland or Northern England, temperatures will be much colder. Even in Northern Ireland, they're at 5 and 4 degrees respectively there. If I scroll it a bit further on, you can see those weather patterns not too much changing. So you're expecting some showers in most parts of the UK. If you're up very near around the Highlands in Scotland, you'll get some forecasts of some snow. If you don't get snow, you're probably likely to get rain there. So chances of having a dry day is very, very unlikely, no matter where you are in the UK. Looking overnight, though, into the next day, from tonight into Saturday morning, these are the temperatures. Not too much drop in temperatures, roughly around about the same temperatures as you can see here. 8, 7, 7, 8, 6, and 5, respectively there. Cardiff getting an overnight shower, as in parts of Scotland and Northern Ireland getting their fair share of showers. And parts of southern England and southwest England going to get their fair share of bits of showers as well. But that Saturday morning there, we can see there. Edinburgh at 5 degrees and parts of Scotland still getting their fair share of showers. Some scattered showers here and there from the looks of it there on Saturday as well. Nothing too serious. More of a drizzles, I would say, more than anything, rather than a big rainstorm here. But yeah, some of that drizzle is obviously in parts of Ireland and maybe even Northern Ireland. But it looks like some parts you might get away with. You might get away with it. Temperatures are actually pretty decent. They go a bit further up here, 11, 10. And 7 and 8. So there's an increase in temperatures on Saturday afternoon, which is good for everyone. But there are still some scattered showers going to be around. So chances are you'll probably need a brolly or a raincoat, whatever you're planning to do this weekend, tomorrow here. So chances of you getting away with a completely dry day is unlikely. Moving overnight into early Sunday morning here, this is what we're forecasting. Looks like most parts of the UK are going to have a dry night, but some bits may be hit with certain showers. If you're up in Scotland, you won't get away with that, I'm afraid. Looks like parts of northern eastern Scotland is going to be experiencing some shower heads, as well as some parts of snow there. Looks like it's forecasting not too much of a drop in temperatures there overnight either. You can see temperatures are not too bad for overnight there, all things considered, the time of the year that we're in, actually, to be fair. Sunday morning here. It looks like there will be some scattered showers here and there, so a completely dry weekend is not going to come about again. Temperatures not too bad again for Sunday. So, yeah, not too bad, 9 degrees. Hopefully they'll pick up a little bit more as time moves on here, but there's still some fair share of shower heads there if we go a bit further on. And we'll just have a quick look at Monday, and then we will catch up with the weather on Monday's live stream here. Just looking overnight there. Yeah, it looks like there's a slight dip in temperatures. Yeah, slight dip, but nothing too serious there. I would say overnight in the early Monday morning. Yeah, from the looks of it. So you could get away with the heating if you don't need it there. We're moving into Monday lunchtime. We can see most parts of the UK looks like going to be dry. And I think we kind of saw something like this. A rainstorm was going to be coming. Yeah, there's a rainstorm going to be hitting parts of southern Wales and southeast England there. But it looks like the rest of the UK may be experiencing a bit of a dry patch on Monday. There's what we looks like we're going to be getting. But temperatures are looking pretty okay, all things considered there. So that's what we're going to be experiencing over the next couple of days. So, yeah, chances are you're going to get hit by rain in some way, shape or form. You're not going to get away with that, guys. As much as you want to. Let me just quickly see what's in the chat. Booming cold and foggy here, says Mandy. Ellie says, I still can't believe it's Friday already. That came quickly. Didn't have time to buy a crunchy. Tiny shovels, busting wings, make me snappy, makes me feel bad, says Peter. Brolly hat, maybe. I was about to say, what's a brolly hat? But wait a minute, I don't know what that is. Marcus's live stream yesterday afternoon was hilarious. He cut a finger on his axe, and then he did it again 2 minutes later. What a hoot. Oh, dear. I hope he's okay. Did he actually hurt himself? I hope he's okay. I never know when the guy's live streaming. That's why I can never catch him. Yeah, I don't ever know when he's live streaming because it's so random with him. I don't know if he still does those 8 hours live streams there. So, to be fair, so and everyone's just saying hello to everyone. Right, let's have a look at the Guardian, guys. We'll start with them, and then we'll have a look at some world news here. So, Starmer's position is untenable if the Chief of Staff, Morgan Sweeney, is not fired over Manderson scandal. UK Politics Live. So, this is the live feed from the Guardian at the moment here. So, what they're saying here is that last 15 minutes, PMQ Keir Starmer needs to look at consequences. Giving Mandelson's ambassadorship. So, Labour MP Ian Bry said the red flags were there and at the time of Mandelson's appointment, saying it's well known what he was. Speaking of Sky News, the left winger said Keir Starmer needs a miracle to save his premiership. I'm sure he's angry because I'd be angry if I was him. However, he should have listened to the people who flagged up that he was a catastrophic appointment, and he didn't, and that's why we are here today. Brian said the Prime Minister needs to look at the consequences of his actions, adding what he's enabled by putting Mandelson in that job, and that may come out what we don't know. What he's done while he's been there. That's true. Yeah, we just don't know enough of what he's been there. I really do think his premiership is untenable. I think he's gonna hold on to the local elections, but my God, it's gonna be thin ice. I think it's gonna be thin ice personally. But he should go. Home Office Minister Mike Tapp blamed the vetting process for the reason Peter Mandelson was appointed US ambassador. This is the blame game. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. Talk about blame game. Seriously. Like, he has a track record. The guy has a track record. And you're blaming the vetting process here. No. He was not because of the vetting process. He was bypassed through, for crying out loud. Good morning, Lee Korn. How are you doing? Reganelite auctioning for Caroline Kerwick's job. Is that a weather reporter? I don't know who that is, Lee. But they have not. Nobody has contacted me to do the weather report on their behalf yet. If someone does, they can let me know. There. No, but good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Oh, I did actually wanted to. I'll see if I remember today. I actually wanted to get you on a round table at some point as well. I'll DM you on Discord at some point about that. If not today, I'll do it tomorrow. There'll be soul searching Labour this weekend. Yep, a lot of soul searching. Yeah, indeed. Yeah, the clock is ticking on Keir Starmer's premiership. Labour think tank close to Morgan Sweeney paid firm to investigate journalists. What the hell? Labour Together allegedly hired company to look at Sunday Times and Guardian reports after articles about donations. This is very interesting. This could not scream more of a cover-up if you try. They are so desperate for the media to not know what they're doing. This is not very good. So, a think tank previously run by a Labour minister and the Prime Minister's chief of staff is alleged to have paid a PR firm to investigate journalists who were looking into its funding. Labour Together, once run by Morgan Sweeney and then by Josh Simons, now a Cabinet Office Minister, hired APCO Worldwide to investigate journalists from The Guardian, The Sunday Times and other outlets and to identify their sources according to claims in the Substack publication Democracy for Sale. McSweeney left Labour Together in 2020 when he joined Keir Starmer's team. He remained close to the think tank, which is a key ally of Starmer as he led Labour to election victory in 2024. Simons was director of Labour Together when the APCO was reportedly hired. Sources close to McSweeney said he had not taken the decision to hire APCO and that it was a matter for Labour Together. Guardian has approached Simons, Labour Together and the Labour Party in APCO for comment. Democracy for Sale reported that Simons, McSweeney, Labour Together and the Labour Party and APCO all declined to comment on the record. The allegations come as McSweeney faces severe pressure over his role in Downing Street. In the aftermath of the disclosures about Peter Mandelson and the Epstein files, Downing Street has rejected calls for his removal because they're idiots. But Labour backbenchers say his role in Mandelson's appointment as US ambassador makes the position as the Prime Minister's most senior aide untenable. I do think, there's a part that I'll say this in my Speaking My Mind video tomorrow, which I've already pre-recorded. But I did say that if Morgan McSweeney does take the cut, Keir Starmer may survive. So I did do an off-the-cuff speech about Keir Starmer's position tomorrow that you'll guys see tomorrow on the channel for Speaking My Mind episode. So whether or not it will be enough, I just think it will buy him time. I don't think it will save his premiership. The copium from the Labour Party trying to spin, says Viper Scott. Yeah, they are trying to spin. Thank you again for the for another £2 super chat. Thank you, appreciate it. Yes, Carol is a weather reporter who is retiring. There's still time for a call up from the Met Office, mate. Okay, well you send them my CV and I'll send you my CV and you let me know when they get back to me. In all seriousness, they wouldn't appoint someone from a YouTube, to be fair, guys. On Thursday night, Labour MP King Johnson said the allegations that they suggested Miss Sweeney's operation is rotten to the core, adding, if this is the idea of leadership, number 10, it needs gutting from the bottom to the top. Yeah, it does need gutting from the bottom to the top. That's quite extraordinary that they actually tried to investigate, paid a firm to investigate journalists because they were snooping in on what they're doing. They don't like it. Number 10 defies calls to the fact Morgan Sweeney, yet we saw that already. Home Office said nearly 60,000 people have been deported from the UK or left voluntarily since the 2024 election. That's actually that's pretty good. That's very good. Not unless you actually need immigration, which we kind of do. So for all the people who kick off about immigration and whatnot, they should be praising the Labour government for doing this, because this is a hell of a lot better than what the Conservatives were doing. And I can guarantee you, regardless of whatever they think about reform and how much better they would be, they would not even do half of what this Home Office is doing when it comes to deportations of people here. I don't approve of it, because I do think that we need immigration right now. In my opinion, but Labour are doing a good job, but you won't get any credit whatsoever from the likes of GB News and the right-wing media on this. She insists deportations will rise as Labour government is accused of promoting harmful stereotypes of migrants. Yeah, and this is the other problem. The announcement comes amid claims that the government was promoting harmful stereotypes of equating migration with criminality. Officials said the figures were the highest number in a decade. The department said that 15,200 people who were in the UK illegally were removed since the 2024 election. Excuse me. And a 45% increase on the previous 19 months. A statement said 43,000 people left voluntarily after being told they were in the UK illegally. The deportations of foreign national offenders have risen by 32%, with more than 8,700 deported under this Labour government. Home Office also released footage showing a recent removal flight with detainees, their faces blurred, being escorted on a plane destined for Eastern Europe. I hate those videos. I don't like them at all. It's saying we're being tough, but it doesn't matter. Like, I've said this before and I've said this again. It doesn't matter how many people they deport. It doesn't matter how many TikTok videos they put out showing that they're being tough on it. They're still going to vote for reform. They're still going to back them because they're tired of the two-party system. Like, it doesn't matter. People are not going to switch their vote from Reform to Labour. They're just not. Like, I know they're trying really hard to appeal to the right with this, but it's not working. Barclays reportedly cut ties with lobbying firm co-founded by Peter Mandelson. This is a good sign. This is a very good sign. Witchigoff, good to see you there. Hope you are doing well, guys. Make sure you check out Witchigoff's YouTube channel. Viper Scott just put a link in the description. And Mikey Famine from the Bin Podcast is also in the chat, guys. Do check out the Bin Podcast YouTube channel. I know those guys were live yesterday. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to pop in and say hello. But do check out the work those guys do there and give them some love. Some great stuff on their channel as well. So Vodafone is also renewing its contract with Global Counsel after revelations of former ministers' links to Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah, they're seeing the rotten apple here. So Barclays reportedly cut ties with a lobbying firm co-founded by Peter Mandelson after intense scrutiny of the founders dealing with the late child sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Vodafone has also said that it is renewing its contract for public affairs service with Global Counsel, with Mandelson co-founded in 2010 after Labour lost the general election. Mandelson's tried to distance himself. Former Minister of they're just seeing. Newly released emails from the US Department of Justice investigation has also put Global Counsel under intense scrutiny. The Financial Times reported that Barclays had dropped the firm due to frustration over its handling of Mandelson's remaining stake, citing a person close to the situation. I see. Mandelson's trying to hold on to his stake, and they're basically trying not to, basically, and they're getting a bit mad about it. And I don't blame them. Vodafone says its current one-year contract ends in March, and no decisions have been taken regarding its renewal, the FT reported. Both Vodafone and Barclays were approached for comment. That's a good sign. That's a very good sign. That's good to hear. I've got this coming up in a short video, guys, but I wanted to let you guys know this as well. I'm glad this has actually hit some mainstream media, because for a long time this has only been on the fringes of YouTubers, on fringe media outlets. I'm glad, that the Guardian are reporting this, because I can guarantee you the likes of the Telegraph, the Express, GB News will not report this story here, and that is calls to halt UK Platineers contract grows amid the lack of transparency over the deals. Opposition MPs urged Labour to pause public contracts with the US tech firm after attempts to examine deals have been blocked. Also, it was very good that Zach Polanski pointed this out as well. I think it was on Newsnight, or I think it was like a Newsnight. I can't remember what he was on. It was on Wednesday night, but he pointed out Platineers' links to Epstein and whatnot, which I think is very, very good as well. So I'm glad that this is been called out. I haven't read the piece from Barline Times yet, but we know, for those who have followed the channel for quite a while, we know that Open Democracy and Barline Times have been watching closely of Platineers' movements and what they have been doing, and it's good to see it in the news. But because it obviously puts them into question, whether or not the government are actually move on it is another thing there. Yes, Chicago is where Mikey is from. Like I say, if you guys stick around to the end, I've actually got a clip from AEW, which from the AEW wrestling show on Wednesday night, which you will like, especially if you're not a fan of Ice. I'm pretty sure Mikey knows which video I'm talking about, but yeah, we'll be sharing that with you guys a bit later on. Let's just have a quick look at UK here. Price of average UK homes passes 300,000 for the first time, Halifax says there. Almost a quarter of soup on sale in the UK has too much salt, according to a study there. Opposition to the US has hardened in Western Europe after Greenland threat, polls finds. Andrew vouched for Epstein on a state visit to UAE with the Queen in 2010. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Most states and side effects not caused by the drug, a study has found there. And we've seen that other story there. So those are some of the pieces from The Guardian there that they are covering there. Let's have a look across over to the Associated Press, guys, and see what they are saying here today. So this is the front of Associated Press. Oman mediates indirect US-Iran talks over Tehran's nuclear program. I'm very skeptical of the United States wanting these talks. I think Israel are desperate for the US to bomb Iran and to try and cause some kind of they want obviously a coup. They want an overthrow of this government. I think that's very, very clear. I've said this before and I've said this again. Yes, the Arab nations don't want this. I know that people. I know Saudi Arabia and Iran have history. I'm fully aware of that, but they just don't want this. They just don't want this overall. They don't want to. They don't want more damage. That's more damage in the Middle East that's already happening, of course, because we have obviously the civil war taking place in Yemen. We have we obviously have Syria that is still very volatile, despite the government that was once a government that's trying to pull things together, which again, so far they haven't really broken out a complete and total civil war, but it is still very fragile right now, Syria. We also have Lebanon that are still countlessly still getting bombarded on a near daily basis. There is a report I covered on a short video that will be coming out on Monday where Israel reportedly dropped toxic air or gas bombs or some sorts in southern Lebanon, reportedly. Which again is like, remember, there's supposed to be a ceasefire between Hezbollah, Lebanon, and Israel. Well, that's obviously not occurring still. And then, of course, we have what's happening in Gaza still on a daily basis, as well as the West Bank there. So, yeah, they would not like another front opened up if I'm personally there. Whose birthday is it? 63 today. No, you're not 63. You're 18 today, Kev. Happy birthday. Sorry, I'm not going to sing happy birthday. I'm not Max Robespierre, but happy birthday, Counter Kev. Generally mean this. Hope you have a great day. Whatever you decide to do, enjoy it. Have a bit of fun. You know, we all live once, so just enjoy it. So hope you have a great birthday, and thank you for coming on here. Appreciate it. There. Thank you, Viper Scott, for the £2 super chat. Happy birthday, Counter Kev. Yes, indeed. Happy birthday to you. Hope you have a great day there. White Phosphorus, says Mikey Fallon. Was it White Phosphorus? That's not the. I think my piece I read from. Who did I read it from? I think I read it from Middle Eastern Eye. They didn't state that, but they did. What I was told though was what I was told. What I did see reported apparently was they told the UN Special Forces that are in the blue zone. Is it the blue zone? They told the UN Special Forces to basically stay inside when they dropped it. They said they allegedly told the UN it was non-toxin apparently. So apparently, but you can make of that what you will, really. You know, I'm not going to take anything from Israel, whatever they say, and I think we can all agree with that for sure. What else is there? Trump says tariffs have created an economic miracle. The facts tell a different story. I don't think we need to open that one up. I think we can all agree that the tariffs have not created an economic miracle. France and Canada have opened a consulate in Greenland following tensions over US push for control. That sounds good. Epstein email showed he helped arrange White House visit for Woody Allen. What did you get in return, Woody? What did you get in return for that? A deputy chief of Russian military intelligence was shot and wounded in Moscow. At the moment, so the last I read on this is that apparently we don't know. It's easy to assume that this was definitely it could have been somebody working for Ukraine to try and kill this general. We don't know that. It's possible it could have been someone working on an alias as that. But they didn't kill the deputy chief. He's just at the moment he's just in a serious critical condition. So at the moment he's not dead. For the last I read on that, 3 dead, 6 hurt after a 92-year-old driver hits a bicyclist and crashed into Los Angeles grocery store. 92-year-old. That's terrible. Is it going to open up the feed? Is it going to open up? No, it's just got... Oh, there we go. Let's just have a quick look at this one. The woman driving Toyota Prius hit the cyclist shortly after noon and then continued for another block before swerving into a bakery section of a 99 Ranch Market and then coming to a stop, trapping several people underneath the vehicle, police and fire officials said. Called the crash an unfortunate accident, so they do not believe to have been intentional. No, I don't think it was intentional. Two men aged 30, 35, all inside the bakery at the time, died at the scene. Bicyclist and the driver declined offers taken to the hospital. Driver said the 92-year-old woman, suspected person, told the press that she was cooperating with investigators undergoing a medical evaluation. Yeah, I don't think that person's going to be. I don't think that person's going to be driving again. Doesn't say would they under. I'm assuming they weren't under the influence of alcohol. I'm assuming they weren't under the person wasn't under the influence of alcohol, but still, it does question. Like some senior people are okay to drive, but there are some senior people where they need to be told that you need to stop driving. And I do think that then I think in the UK we're looking at introducing some kind of test for older people. I think here in the UK there's been that discussion there. I do think that's something that should be that every country should consider something like that, because if you're still here. Like if you're still here, then you should be able to still drive. But there are some people who should not have their driving license if they're not here. You know, if you reach a certain age. I don't want to punish every senior person, but I also want to protect people from those who shouldn't be driving. You know, I think that's my best way of trying to put it. A Colorado funeral home faces sentencing for abuses, 189 bodies. Oh my God. Fears among Minnesota's Somali community compounded a public health woe. Low measles vaccination rates. God, that state's just been through so much. They've been through so much there. We saw this story on... Oh, I wish they had a new one, guys. They don't. They've still got the Greenland slave steals the AP camera. Well, I still got a nice one there for us later on anyway, guys. Argentina requests extradition of Morado from the US on crimes against humanity charges. They want Nicolas Maduro. Maduro. I'm going to pronounce his name properly. An Argentine judge in Wednesday requested the extradition from the United States of former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, who was kidnapped by the U.S. military last month and now face federal charges of narco-terrorism conspiracy to import cocaine in New York. The case from Argentina, whose judges have aggressively pursued human rights case abuses beyond its borders, accusing Morado having committed crimes against humanity in overseeing harsh crackdown on protesters and political opponents as presidents. The urgent transition of the international request, documentation attached, thereby is hereby order, said the warrant signed by Argentine federal judge, including Venezuelans. Plaintiffs, including Venezuelans who suffer torture, arbitrary detention, and enforced disappearance, among other abuses at the hands of Venezuelan security forces and intelligence agents. It's up to the US, isn't it? The US doesn't have to listen to this. What's the US? Is there a comment from the US on this? Yeah, there doesn't seem to be a comment from the United States over this, whether they're going to agree to that. But it is just a request, so the US can just turn around and say no if they wanted to. Whether they will or not is another thing there. Right, let's switch gears. Have a quick look at Al Jazeera here. Just a reminder, got 20 minutes left, so I want to try and cover as much as I can for you guys. There's plenty of live streams to look forward to later on, like I said as well. We'll get to all. Mikey, are you going live later on today? Do let us know in the comments. I don't know what time it'll be our time in the difference to your time. But if you are going live on Friday, do let us in the chat know. US Iran talks underway in Oman in a push to prevent war. Mexico tariffs on India are double whammy after US tariffs. Why are they slapping tariffs on India? They've devastated Indian industries already under severe US tariffs. Yeah, but what's the reason for them to doing it? Been running a steel manufacturing unit. 65-year-old told Al Jazeera his company exports produce mostly. Recent spikes in tariff in both countries, however, come as a crushing blow to China. Before the tariffs of sales of roughly $5 million to $8 million to the US and Mexico, respectively, since those have been halved. I lost 50% of my business in Mexico and the US since the tariff came into effect. It's a severe blow to my business. I was focusing on Mexico after the US tariffs, but the future looks bleak. So now, on January the 1st, Mexico implemented steep import tariffs ranging from 5% to 50% on more than 1,400 products from non-free trade nations, including India, Brazil, China, South Korea, Russia, Indonesia, and Thailand. Mexico has free trade agreements with more than 50 countries, including the US, Canada, Japan, and countries in the European Union, Asia-Pacific region, and Latin America. The North American nation contends that the tariffs have been hiked to boost domestic production, address trade imbalances, and safeguard local employment. However, Indian business have put it down to Mexico safeguarding itself from US rafts over transshipments and supply chain division, issues that businesses from countries like China, which are dealing with high US tariffs, can undertake. Because of what the US is doing with its tariffs, which, by the way, we still don't know whether the Senate have still not decided on whether Trump is allowed to do these tariffs again, which we still don't have an answer from. They're still kicking the can down the road on that one, isn't it? So we still don't know there. Hopefully we'll get an answer at some point there. But yeah, because of these tariffs by the US, it's an impact. I've always, I'm sure you guys have heard it before, that what happens in America ripples around the world, and this is a prime example of Mexico trying to protect itself not just from the US but from everyone else in order to safeguard its production, its work economy and whatnot. Yeah, I don't blame Mexico, but at the same time, we've got an Indian businessman who's losing out on money because of Mexico's decision to increase its tariffs. Armed militia members are serving as Israeli agents in Gaza, apparently. Documentary identifies Gaza's armed groups working with Israeli forces, tracking their movements and training sites, apparently. Is yet to release a new investigation on armed groups in Gaza accused of collaborating with the Israeli military against Palestinians, detailing their names, movements, and training locations. Well, when Israel has so much money that they're getting from the US, they're offering them a lot of money there. The investigation, a new episode into a program, What is Hidden by Greater Al Jazeera's journalists, will be broadcast at 9 p.m. today. That'll be interesting. Includes audio and video materials of the network that says documents of how individuals inside Gaza were recruited and operated. That'll be interesting to watch. Unfortunately, I'll be at a wrestling show tonight, so I won't be able to watch that. But I'll certainly have a look in. I'll certainly put that on my list of things to look at. Thank you, Kirsty, for the $1.99 super chat. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Trump has really messed up the whole world. Yeah, his actions have rippled the rest of the world in a negative manner for sure. Absolutely. Thank you so much for that super chat. Yeah, Donald Trump has really messed up a lot of things. Hong Kong to sentence media mogul Jimmy Lai on national security conviction there. Can Bangladesh voters in Britain's impact country's election? Just how excellent was Trump and Xi Jinping's phone call? Really? I'm not too sure on that one. Gold fluctuations baffle Lebanese jewelers' gold market. Elderly Palestinians demanded to stay in Gaza despite the terrible conditions. Settler violence stokes peaks West Bank displacements since October 2023, according to the UN there. And at least 31 have been killed and dozens wounded in Islamabad mosque blast. Powerful explosion rocks Shia mosque in Pakistan's capital, Tali Kalan area during Friday's prayers. Thoughts and prayers, of course, with all those innocent people. Oh, what am I doing? That's what I'm supposed to do. Right. Let's go back to the UK and see if we've got any other news from another outlet. Where is... Oh, there it is. I've got so many links, so many scroll bars up. Let's have a quick look at the BBC here. Increased funding for to meet the net special education needs, MPs have urged. Yep, they need to protect special education needs. It's so important. We're gonna lose out on so many children if we don't bring that funding forward. Trump backs the Chagos handover the deal to number 10. Donald Trump literally endorsed it on a True Social tweet yesterday, which makes Nigel Farage and Kemi Badenoch look like a bunch of idiots again. So he was obviously had to be convinced again that the deal was beneficial to the US. But of course, there are obviously, like I said, there needs to be questions about it. Obviously, because the island does not belong to us. Islands do not belong to us, or the US for that matter. Top government figures to hand over a private message from Mandelson. I won't be able to discuss that until Monday. And with regards to the Met, once it's all out, guys. Starmer says sorry, but is it enough? That's yesterday. Asylum seeker barracks plans could face further delays in the Highlands and Islands. Community investment backs people, says Starmer there as well. Let's have a look at front of UK, see what else they've got here. So Elton calls press intrusion into his health and child truly sickening. Oh my God, they've been spying on him, haven't they? So Elton John said he was truly sickening to learn details of how the Daily Mail breached his privacy in relation to his health issues and the birth of his son. In the witness statement to read the High Court, so Elton described press intrusion when he was in hospital, saying the breaches were outside even the most basic standards of human decency. Yep, this is the Daily Mail that people still tab on as a reliable source of information. This is the Daily Mail. Another reason why I don't ever bring up the Daily Mail media outlets, because they ask for so many cookies as well. It's another reason why I don't show them as well, guys. So about the average house prices. The number of homeless refugees in England soars, BBC finds. There has been a 5-fold increase in the number of refugees households who are homeless or at risk of homelessness in the last 4 years, the BBC has learned. Government data for England shows a rise from 3,560 in 21 and 22 to 19,310 in 2024-2025. Charities say the increase was a direct result of government policy and blame the 28-day period newly recognised refugees are given to move out of their home office accommodation, including hotels, as well as faster processing and claimed by asylum seekers. Direct result. This is what happens when you have governments that don't know what they're doing. Obviously, a lot of this blame, obviously, you can put on the Conservatives, of course, because they're the ones responsible for this increase in homelessness. But it doesn't mean that Labour should be doing more to stop this. Government says it was committed to helping refugees transition from asylum housing to their own accommodation and was working with local authorities to mitigate the risk of homelessness. It comes that successive governments have struggled to get a grip on the UK's overwhelming asylum system, with a huge backlog of people waiting in decisions on claims and appeals. Processing had been slow at one point, but put on pause entirely. But Labour wants to speed up decisions, resulting in more people being granted refugee status and looking somewhere else to live. One charity supporting homeless refugees said it was mostly seeing young women under the age of 30 asking for help. Yusuf, who arrived in the UK on a small boat after fleeing the war in Sudan, is among them. The 26-year-old said her entire family was killed before she arrived in the UK. Unbelievable. 19,310. What are we doing? What are we doing, guys? Dad who nearly lost tongue to cancer urges men virus awareness there. Alton Towers to remove disability pass for people with ADHD and anxiety as well. And those are some of the stories there from the BBC. Cavaland, good to see you there. Hope you are doing well. BBC raising TV license to £180 per annum. Ridiculous. That why they have not done more to consult. Why have they not done more consultation to change it to a subscription system is beyond me. Terrible system. Right, let's just have a look at the Kiev Independent here, and then we'll look at some more there. The General Vladimir Askiv was shot multiple times in Moscow. The Kremlin confirms he has been rushed to hospital and the government fled the scene. According to reports, that's the latest update they have there. US ambassador requests troops presence in Poland after official says Trump doesn't deserve the Nobel Prize. Poland has been among the United States' closest ally in Europe since the 1990s. Questioning troop presence in Poland. Why is the US ambassador questioning that? It's on the board with bloody Russia. Russia decries Macron's attempts at dialogue with Putin as pathetic diplomacy. If you want to call and talk about something serious, then call. Putin always picks up the phone, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has said. Are you sure about that? Starlink catastrophic for Russia as Musk shuts down access across the entire front line in Ukraine. The enemy at the front doesn't have a problem. The enemy has a catastrophe. Why? Why did Musk do that? Why did Musk do that? He wants to be loved and well liked. Maybe he should turn Starlink back on. You know, maybe he should. If he helped out Ukraine a little bit there, he could get on a lot of people's good side if he actually did more for them. You know. Oh wait, he was in the Epstein files. Too late. U.S. Treasury chief ties new Russian sanctions to progress in Ukraine's peace talk. Russia launches Friday morning rush hour missile drone attack on Ukraine. Yeah, they do a daily attacks, don't they? Always targeting the infrastructure there. As Russia loses in Ukraine's mount, the Kremlin strains to avoid full mobilization. Yeah, they're desperate not to do full mobilization, but they've already taken so many of their people. I wonder how many times Moscow has requested more troops from North Korea. I wonder how many times, guys. Power heating outages reported in Russia's Belgorod Oblast following a missile attack as well. I should say as well is that Ukraine, although they're obviously trying to mobilize what they can, they are not mobilizing anyone working in the energy industry. So that energy workers are working round the clock to try and keep the power and the heating on for people in Ukraine. So they're not being called up. Apparently they're lowering the exemptions for them to be called up to mobilization in Ukraine, because obviously during the winter times, obviously if the heating goes, obviously it can be devastating for basically can be devastating for Ukrainians, understandably so, especially at the temperatures that they're going through right now. Negotiations to reform ICE splutter as shutdown looms for the DHS. Senator Majority Leader Tom Thune swiftly dismissed Democrats' proposals list of 10 guardrails, calling them totally unrealistic. Hey, if the Democrats need to not budge on this. The Democrats need to not budge on this. I think Musk shut it down for the Russians, not Ukraine. I might be wrong, says Lee Korn. Whatever Musk's reason, he's already shattered his reputation, by claiming that, he was saying Donald Trump's in the Epstein files, and then his name suddenly appears in the Epstein files, and he cries foul, saying it's all it's not true. We try to make excuses for it. Yeah, that's not really working. We'll have to stop bit because I want to share 2 clips with you guys before we head out before 12. So, how ICE is using facial recognition to bring surveillance to the streets. It's a Super Bowl this weekend, is it? I'm assuming it's the Super Bowl. I don't watch the Super Bowl personally, but I'm sure some people are looking forward to that. How ICE is using facial recognition. What else they got here? A funeral home stash 109 decaying bodies and handed out fake ashes. Yeah, we saw that. Fake ashes. They even handed out fake ashes. Oh my god. Any other stories here? Father says 5-year-old son has nightmares and wakes up crying since ISIS detention. US strikes another alleged boat drones killing 2 narco-terrorists. I've got that in a short video in case anyone's interested. That'll be coming up over the next couple of days. Trump's objectives in Iran are unclear. Virginia Democrats propose congressional maps that could boost parties in the midterms. A Democrat primary season kicks off with anti-establishment earthquake. There. FBI invites state election officials to an unusual briefing on the midterms. Basically, don't make sure that Donald Trump wins or we're going to have problems. I think that's allegedly what they are saying there, guys. Allegedly. Got about 5 minutes left. How long are both those clips? One's 3 minutes and one... Okay, let's... Oh, for God's sake, the link has dropped. I was going to show the Independent, but the link has dropped. That's a bit annoying. Let's have a quick look at the African news, and then we'll have a look at these 2 clips, because I want to show you one from... I want to show you them, because I think they're really important. Oh, one's really important, the other one you guys will like from AEW. Iran, US prepared talks in Oman. UAE aid ships reaches Gaza, crossing reopenings amid ongoing violence. How much of it is actually getting into Gaza? That's a good question. Nigeria's president deploys the army following Kaswa State massacre. Yeah, there was a terrible massacre that occurred. Up to nearly 200 people have lost their lives. Absolutely terrible, terrible situation there. Children vaccination resumes in Mozambique after nearly 4-year halt. That's good. Egypt's inflation expected to slow in January as food prices fall. Just having a quick look on the right here for any interesting stories here. Any others here? Sounds of Mali documents, Cypher Duo. Korea vaccination, we said already. Yeah, Iran, US prepare for talks in Oman. Remaining 89 kidnapped Nigerian Christians have returned home. That's good. We covered that a while ago about the kidnapped children that were taken from their schools by kidnappers in Nigeria. I'm glad to see the remaining have returned home. That's very good news. That is very, very good news. Activists announced a new aid flotilla for Gaza of over 100 boats. I'm pretty sure we said that, noticed that story yesterday there. Rwanda versus the UK, the fallout from a scrap migrant deal. Like I said, the Conservatives should pay the tab for that, not the taxpayer. Send the tab to the Conservative Party because they're the ones who wanted to do it. Floodwaters swamped northern Morocco, forces mass evacuations there as well. So those are some of the stories there from Africa News. Right, I just wanted to share. I wanted to share this clip here first about the situation of what a lot of young people are going through. I know I'm not going to. I don't monetize my live streams anyway, so I'm not going to get in trouble. But they're going to get mad for me sharing this anyway because it's question time. But I don't care. I want to share this with you guys because I think this is really, really important.
Score with you.
Yeah, so I have a Plan 2 student loan. I was one of the cohort of people that were given that gift by the Lib Dems and the Tories.
So this is 2012 to 2020.
Yeah, exactly. That's when I went to uni, 2012. What does that mean in plain terms? It means that for 1 year of my degree, 1 year of study, it cost me the same. Everyone sat here, Oxford, Cambridge, LSE, everything they paid does not cover 1 year of my tuition. Do you think that's fair? First point of call, right? Yeah, that's the first place. What is the sort of most egregious thing on top of that is my 3-year course, £9 grand a year for the tuition. On top of that, I have a maintenance loan. So roughly speaking, I left uni with about 37.5 grand of debt, or I should have done when we're talking this question about was it missold to me. From the day I started, I was charged interest, RPI plus a certain percent. RPI, by the way, a measure of inflation the government doesn't like to use because they think it overrates inflation. They prefer a different measure, CPI, not when they're taking my money. Since I went to uni in 2012, just bear that figure in mind about my debt, 37.5 grand. Since I went to uni in 2012, the amount of interest, I did the sums before I got here, that I have accrued is £32,000. So was it missold to me when I was told it was going to cost me £9 grand a year? Yeah, I'd say so. On top of that, it's a regressive system. So if you're wealthy enough to pay the fees up front, to pay your 27K, you don't get charged interest. So if you're rich enough, you don't pay the same as me. Is that fair? No, I don't think it is. There are some beneficial parts of the student loan system. So for example, if you're not a high earner, you don't have to pay. And after a certain period of time, it gets wiped. That's a good thing. Unfortunately, the government has unilaterally changed the terms of the loan. So we were told when we went to university, it would start at a certain threshold and it would increase. It would keep in line with earnings. We're now in a situation where for a little more than the living wage, £500 difference. If you're paid the living wage and you work 40 hours a week for a year, your salary, it's only £500 under the threshold when you start paying it back. So basically, if you have a job, you're going to pay it. It shouldn't be like that. The government changed the terms of the loan that I agreed to. They did it unilaterally. I'd call that loan sharking. What's more, if I wanted to change the terms and I said, you know what, guys, I'm going to stop paying, what do you think would happen?
So what do you think should happen, Ollie? This is a cri de coeur from you, which I knew was going to be coming. Yeah. Well, how else are we going to pay for it?
Well, how did you guys pay for it? The state paid for it, didn't they?
It did.
Good enough for you, good enough for me. So, look, I think education...
But do you think that's a realistic proposition now? Is that what you would suggest?
I think a government that was motivated by the politics of the soul rather than the politics of process could get their head around this. Yeah, look, I think education is a public good. I don't think it's a commodity. I think we all benefit from having an educated populace. And I'll be really clear and specific. I don't just mean undergraduate study here. I'm talking about vocational training. Also, there is so much that we could change about our graduate system. Okay. Zia, right. I'll just add one thing. Sorry, Fiona. if we're talking about like doctors, Zia, you've spoken before about the difficulty of UK-trained doctors going into employment and the difficulty of them finding jobs. If there are skill gaps in our economy, why don't we say, if you're an engineer, if you're a doctor, if you're a nurse, no fees. We can train the right people. There's all sorts of ways we can make the system better.
Okay. Manira.
That's the thing. It's so good. Unfortunately, I couldn't pause it to share my thoughts, but I wanted to share that piece with you to show just how screwed up our bloody student system is. And just on that, like, that's just one of many reasons why I didn't go to college or university, because I just didn't want the hassle of that. So one last clip before we go. I know it's gone 12 o'clock, but I wanted to share this with you guys, especially if you're not a fan of ICE. So this happened, as you guys know, I'm a big fan of All Elite Wrestling. I'm a big fan of the wrestling company, and this happened on Dynamite. So this was on the main event. Right, this happened right at the start, right before the match happened, and the fans did decide to do a certain chant, guys, a certain chant. So you guys, pretty sure you guys will like this. Listen carefully.
MJF, Brody King, AEW World Championship Eliminator match. A match that the champion wants absolutely no part of.
Now the face in the eyes of the champion.
I did not think it would get as viral as it did yesterday. It exploded on all the mainstream media in the US. It really did. So I'm absolutely delighted. For those who don't know, why did they chant it in this match? For those who don't know, Brody King, who was the big guy there, he has been trying to raise money for victims, for people who have been struggling with ICE. He's been a very, very much stronger. He's been one of the strongest advocates for the whole fuck ICE and everything chant there, and they see him as and a lot of people obviously really do love and appreciate him. And fair play. I just want to say this as well. Fair play to the referee who stood there and allowed before starting the match to let them finish the chanting. Fair play to the commentators for pausing and allowing the chant to be heard. And there's a lot of people I don't think there's a single person that is a fan of ICE within that company. And I follow AEW very, very closely. But I hope you guys liked that little bit there from them there. So yeah, I was very, very, very wanting to share that with you guys as well. Glad I had time to share that with you guys. So I'm going to a wrestling show tonight, believe it or not, here in the UK. So that's another reason why I'm not live streaming this afternoon or this evening as well. But guys, just a quick reminder, Phil Morehouse is going live right now at 12 o'clock if you want to watch his live stream. At 1 p.m. will be the agenda with Phil Morehouse and Graham Hughes with the agenda on Politics Social. I don't know if Witchy Goth is going live later on or not, but at 5 o'clock there is Daily Blase's Friday Frolics. Do join him for that as well. A Thompson will be going live, I believe, at 7 o'clock on his live stream. If you guys are a fan of A Thompson, want to check out his work there as well. Then at 8:30, if he goes live, doesn't always does, but Max Robespierre normally goes live at 8:30 on his channel, so do check out his live stream there as well. And I believe Politics Social will have another live stream in late tonight as well. But I will not be attending any of them because I'm going to be away today. But thank you guys all for coming along. Thank you for everyone who sent super chats as well. Thank you guys for all your comments as well. And really appreciate everybody coming out. And thanks again to Graham Hughes for the raid as well. Much appreciated. But just before you go, guys, if you can for me, please hit that like button, share this across social media, subscribe if you haven't already. You can also check out Rumble and Patreon, free content on those platforms if you want to see additional content on there. And I'll be back live this Monday at 11 a.m. for another Good Morning show. So thank you all again so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.